Hey guys, it's Rich Boy J here backing out with another video, and these are going to be my impressions on the new UCS Y-Wing. I just finally got this thing built, picked it up on May the 4th, so I'm really excited to talk to you guys about some of my feelings on it. Overall, I want to just say that I'm actually very pleased with it. I feel that it's generally a big step over the last Y-Wing, and I'm totally not disappointed that we got a re-release for this model. Now, this set has 1,967 pieces. It came out this year in 2018 on May the 4th, so it is obviously a very big deal. One of the things that I'm actually very happy that LEGO is kind of sticking with is obviously the Millennium Falcon style box art. I feel that this is a great kind of way for them to converge on a general box design for UCS sets. I think that it just makes it look so premium, and there's actually a very nice surprise on the inside. Now, this certainly isn't something that's unprecedented because the UCS Falcon actually included, I believe, 4 of these types of boxes on the inside of the main box. But I feel that it's just a very nice inclusion. Clearly, it's not something that's totally necessary, but once again, it just gives it a much more premium feel. And this is so nice that I'm going to keep both of these boxes. The inner boxes are typically something that I get rid of, but these both just look so nice and so premium, and I feel this is a welcome change and something I hope they stick with moving forward. Now that I'm done gawking over the boxes, we can talk about the actual toys. Let's start with the minifigures. I am thoroughly impressed by this minifigure lineup. You get first the droid, who is R2BHD, also known as Tubi. I think I mentioned this before, but the interesting fact about this droid is that obviously the main pilot, Dutch Vander, is in Star Wars Episode 4, but this droid is actually not shown on screen until Rogue One, so it's kind of something that's retroactively added to this pilot, but it is surely very welcome because this is such a beautiful droid. It's very shiny. It's on that kind of pearl dark gray base color with some kind of like silver or metallic silver accents, so really like that. This is probably one of my favorite droids that they've ever produced, and I'm going to have fun throwing this thing in the background of some mocks. Moving on to the main pilot, as I mentioned before, this is John Dutch Vander. The jumpsuit is pretty standard from what we've gotten on X-Wing / Y-Wing pilots before, but the main thing is going to be his helmet. And I feel that LEGO has just done such an excellent job on these helmets recently. They are just really killing it with these. There's so much detail going all around the helmet. And I mean, I actually went and purchased a bunch of his older styled helmet about probably half a year ago because the helmet is actually used by a couple different pilots, but now that they have this one out, I'm going to have to find a way to get a hold of a few of these to put on some other pilots like Hobby who have this style of a helmet. So all in all, minifigures, I think they just knocked it out of the park. They couldn't have done a better job on these things. The only thing maybe I feel they could have added in is some arm printing. It seemed like they had been doing that before with the pilots, like with the Snowspeeder pilot and the TIE Fighter pilots. I guess they opted not to do it with this. I feel the jumpsuit is good enough to where it's, you know, not the worst thing in the world to not have that arm printing, but I certainly would have appreciated that. But that is a minor gripe on an otherwise stellar group of minifigures. Super excited to have these. Now for the actual model. Now, this doesn't happen to me very often, but I was missing quite a few pieces out of the box with this model, which was quite disappointing. Most of them I was able to actually just fill in with stuff from my own collection, but there was one piece that I did not have, which was the brown whip that kind of sits at the very top of the, I don't even know what you'd call it, just the top of the body. It kind of sits right here, and it weaves through some of the greeblings. So I'm actually very disappointed that that wasn't included, along with maybe like 4 or 5 other parts. So guys, let me know if you guys have the same experience with this set. I don't know if it's, you know, just the box that I got, or maybe it's common with this set that they were trying to have mass produced for May the 4th, but I'm actually quite disappointed with that. It doesn't typically happen, but I feel with something like this, I was really expecting to get all the pieces in the box, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I'll probably put it in order to get one of those brown whips, but I really would have loved to have put that on there because I feel that was actually one of the best details they had on the top of the model. But other than that, the Y-Wing is obviously very well known for the greebling and the exposed innards of it, because, you know, it had a shell before in the Clone Wars and they ripped it off for the Galactic Civil War, and LEGO really just knocked it out of the park. Like, there is just so much greebling on this thing, and it just, you know, all comes together to make a very beautiful model. I feel Greebling is one of the things that kind of makes Star Wars sets. Like, it's something that you don't really see a ton of in other types of Lego sets, but Star Wars ships will typically have some sort of Greebling, and I think that Lego just did an excellent job with it. There's so many small pieces and fine details. I really do like the brown bars that are used throughout it. It's obviously accurate, and it just kind of accentuates the typical grays and dark grays that we get with these Star Wars sets. And then one of the other cool things about this set is they actually went through the trouble of putting some Greebling on the bottom as well. So if any of you guys know how I feel about that UCS Superstar Destroyer, you know that I am a proponent of Lego putting attention to detail on the bottom of sets, and the fact that they did it with this one, I feel, is very nice. One of the other things I did want to point out is the cockpit area. So this is probably my main gripe with this model, the fact that it does not have a new cockpit piece. This piece has been used by Lego ever since the beginning of Lego Star Wars, and I feel that it's so outdated. It's not the correct shape. The Y-wing cockpit, actually the windows on the sides kind of slant outwards. They don't just go straight down. So I feel they could have justified adding in a new cockpit piece. It seems like they've been doing it for all the recent ships, and the Starfighters especially. I mean, the most recent Snowspeeder got a new cockpit piece. The Falcon did, obviously. The TIE Fighter didn't get a new cockpit piece, but it got a new cockpit like print. So it wasn't a new piece, but it was the first time they made that piece with that print on it. So it was something unique to that set. And, you know, many other ships that they've recently done have gotten a new cockpit windshield piece. So really disappointed they didn't do that. I do appreciate, though, that it is in sand blue. I feel it really kind of, you know, just kind of throws just a small splash of color on a model that is mostly, you know, gray and dark gray, obviously, not including the white cockpit, but that is accurate. I'm glad that they did that. There's also some sand blue pieces going around here, so I think that it looks really nice on this model. And I guess one of the other things that I did want to point out was that it has a play feature, which is you're able to like rotate the gun on the top by kind of spinning this, but this is, I mean, I don't want to say it's pointless because it's, I'll get to this later, but I don't want to say it's pointless, but it's just so like awkward to kind of handle. I don't see a reason why someone would like really want to go to that play feature very often. It's not intuitive, it's not easy to reach, and it's kind of awkward to rotate. So I don't know, it's something, but this thing is the bane of my existence. These are landing gears on the middle of this set at the very front, and they fall off all the time. I feel they probably could have done a better job by just having it more hidden under the set. They didn't do that, and they fall off all the time. I literally cannot hold this set without knocking these landing gears off. So boo, Lego, do a better job next time. You can figure that out. Which, I mean, it's so annoying too because the back landing gears are actually like pretty well hidden. So even if you pick up the set, like they're kind of hunched in there at the bottom, so you can't easily just like knock it off by hitting it. In fact, I'd have to try really hard to get it knocked off. But this one, you can see I knocked it off by just like moving the set very slightly to show you guys a feature that wasn't even the landing gear. So that's kind of annoying. But I guess if you are using the landing gears, you probably just pull them out once and sit it on a table or something. Other than that, I really do like this model quite a bit. Obviously, the Greebling is a big deal, and also I feel that they just are finally redoing a lot of these old and dated looking UCS sets. I know a lot of people have a problem with re-releases. I personally don't, because there are so many more new pieces now that Lego can use to make these things look better than they've ever looked, and this is a welcome addition to my collection. I have the most recent X-Wing, which I actually do feel probably deserves a redo at some point down the line, but we're not going to get into that. But it is, like I said, a welcome addition to my collection. I do love having it. It certainly stands out because of all the Greebling and all the details in the main body, and I love the minifigures in it. So all in all, super happy that I bought this set. It is a great display piece, and I don't think I have much else to say about it. One other thing I did feel was worth mentioning is the scale. I feel like a lot of people, more than usual, have been asking if this Y-Wing is minifig scale. The quick answer is no. These UCS sets that they've made for Starfighters are generally much larger than minifig scale. I have a minifig scaled Y-Wing next to it. That's not the Lego set. That is a custom made by Brickrite, modified a little bit by Enthert with the cockpit. But this is minifig scale. That's the UCS Y-Wing. It's not like that much bigger than minifig scale, but it is bigger than minifig scale. It is not minifig scale, so this isn't something that you'd want to use in like a mock or something with minifigures. It's not going to look good. It is way too big. So just wanted to point that out for you guys who are still confused as to whether or not this model was minifig scale. And here is the Y-Wing next to the Red 5 X-Wing Starfighter. Not much to say about these two other than that they make a pretty cute couple. And that's going to finish up my thoughts on the UCS Y-Wing, guys. Let me know in the comment section, do you own this set? Do you like it? And if you don't own it, is it something that you would like to pick up? As I always say, guys, if you like what I do, go ahead and support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, support the video by hitting the like button, and I'll see you again very soon with some great content. Thanks for watching.